Hey, Stephen Yanni here doing the Junkyard Crawl at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardston, Massachusetts. Does anybody remember street racing? Well, I sure do. Back in the 1980s, the goal was to get the smallest car and put the biggest engine in it and go hit the streets and take out the opponent. Now, if you had a Chevy, you were looking for a Nova, put a 396 or a 454 in there. Ford guys would maybe take a Maverick or a Falcon, put a 390 or 428 in it. Mopar guys would go out and grab a Dodge Dart and put a 440 in it, and therefore get about the smallest possible car with the biggest engine. Well, we got to remember there's also something called the Plymouth Valiant. This is a 1969 Plymouth Valiant two-door post. Now, here's the thing. These were actually smaller than Dodge Darts. If you wanted the smallest possible rear-wheel drive platform short of a Dodge Colt, you took yourself and you got yourself a Valiant. Now, the point of this is the two-door Valiants have a 108-inch wheelbase. The Darts have a 111-inch wheelbase. These are actually smaller and lighter by about 90 to 100 pounds. So if you want the smallest possible A-body, you want yourself a Valiant. Now here's the thing, these cars were about $93 less than a comparable Dodge Dart. Base price was $2,307 on these things back in 1969. So these were cheaper, lighter, and smaller than Dodge Darts. But few Mopar street racers even remember these things. Now the production on these things was pretty solid. We'll get to that in a second. Now one thing about this one here, the fender is gone. We'll know more about the engine in a moment, but the weird thing on these was the 13-inch wheels. And it's strange to see right here, the original wheel cover still in place. And it's kind of pretty. I got to say, this is the correct wheel cover for a Dodge Dart. And that argent paint, it just kind of makes this one-piece stamping look kind of exotic, almost like a Kelsey Hayes wheel. And I've never seen these fade, so whatever Dodge used on these things was very good. Now, the torsion bar suspension on these things, of course, has upper control arms, torsion bars inside. Here's the shock absorber, lightweight stuff. And again, a nice, ideal place. You can put a 440 in these things without any work, or a 426 Hemi with a little bit of work on that shock tower. I've done it. It can be done. Now, here's the thing. There were a lot of options on these things. This is the 1969 American Car Prices, the used car price guide, and this tells us about all of the cars, but here is 1969 Plymouth Valiant. And it shows here the Valiant 100 series. The base engine was the 273. That's right, the Slant Six was not the standard engine. That's a fact. But here's the deal. If you got the Slant Six, you got a $47 credit. See it right there, 225 credit Slant Six. So $47.80 if you didn't want a V8 and you wanted a Slant Six. And as far as tires go, for $20.05, you could get 14-inch wheels on any Valiant or Signet in 1969. This one has the 13s on it, but with that said, let's check and see if this has the 8 or the 6. Again, the fender is not here, we can't read it, so okay, yeah, somebody saved $47.80 and got the 225 Slant Six. Now, there was no more 190 or 170 short deck Slant Six in 1969. That was gone. 1970 would bring us the 198, but again, this is the only Slant Six available in 1969. And this one's fairly basic. This one has manual steering. It had manual drum brakes right there. But again, this engine bay will take a 440 with no problems. In fact, the Direct Connection catalog in 1969-70 used to sell kits to swap V8 engines into Darts and Valiants like this. And again, most people forget about the Valiant, but it's the same engine bay as a Dodge Dart. Let's continue our tour around on this side. Now, here's the thing. Darts were available as the Dart 100. There was also a thing called the Signet, which had a little more trim. But again, here's the Valiant 100. I should say Valiant, not Dart. There it is, the 100 series. Basic stuff. The VIN on this one is readily visible. Of course, there's no windshield. You see it right, VL, Valiant Low. That's the low price. It was an M and a P. 21 two-door post. B, Hamtramck, Michigan. 1969 model year. And, oh, sorry, B is the Slant Six. B here is Hamtramck, Michigan. And, of course, serial 424923. But again, the beauty of these cars is this post, this fixed door post, the full door frame. There were also 4 doors available in this family, but again, that 2-door post right there made these things as light and rigid as you can get in an A-body car. And here's the thing, 1970 saw the end of the 2-door post body style. It gave way to the Duster, and here it is. These were actually priced around the same, and these were very capable of being very boring Slant Six cars or 340s, you name it. But again, here we have it here. 1969, 70, of course, the 4-door Valiant lived on, but the 2-door post was gone because the Duster took its place. But the beauty of the Duster, of course, is all the options, the 340 in the middle right there, power you didn't need. It says power you don't need doesn't make it. Power you need makes it. Slant Sixes, 340s, 4 speeds, 3 speeds. And again, the Duster replaced the two-door Valiants. And I love this on the back. Look at those cars, man. The Hemi Cuda, all these cool things. But again, no more two-door posts in 1970. This 1969 is the final iteration. And again, it's all about that post. Now on this, we do see retractable seat belts right down here. These spring-loaded, these things here. $11 is what it cost to get this convenient deal. I mean, the seat belts were standard, but again, the retractor was an $11 option. This one was a torque flight automatic up on the column. And the weird thing about the Valiant for 69, while over at Dodge, the Dart could be had with a 383 or even a 440 in 69, the GTS, the 440. In 69, the Valiant was strictly an economy car. There was no Valiant Roadrunner, no Valiant GTX, nothing. Not even a Formula S Valiant. These were strictly family cars, economy cars. But again, V8 standard power, the 273 two-barrel. And again, you get that $46 credit for going for the Slant Six, which most people did. Now, production on these things was pretty good. 107,218 in total Valiants in 1969. Most were four-doors. In fact, only 36,317 were two-door posts like this. And I remember back in the 80s, these were kind of common, but Dodge Darts were far more common. And in fact, most people don't even realize that Dodge Darts could also be had as a pillar coupe car through 1969. Most people think of the Dodge Dart as a hardtop, and indeed, most of them were. But if you really wanted the meanest, leanest A-body to plunk your 440 or your Hemi or your 383 into, you wanted a 69 through 67 two-door Valiant or Signet. These things are pretty mean little cars, and again, these are easy 12-second cars with an Imperial 440 set of super stock springs and 8 3/4 and 391s. You're looking at 12-second ETs with traction. And these were the hot setup for Mopar street racers back in the 1980s. And they're still pretty cool now. Now this one here has what I would say terminal rust. Yeah, right here. The original paint is still here, but again, the crust and the rust, and it's just kind of too bad. But there might come a time when these things are so scarce and desirable that this thing might get rescued yet. Who knows? The good news is that Bernardston Auto Wrecking has a no-crush policy. So this thing will be here for a good long time. As they say, it doesn't eat. So that's the story of how you went street racing in the 1980s if you were a Mopar guy. Get yourself a Valiant, put a 440 in it, and go run some 12s. We'll be back tomorrow with more Junkyard Crawl here at Bernardston Auto Wrecking.